Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress. It's 100 days till the World Championship match between Magnus Carlsen and Fabiano Caruana. They will play on November 9th till 28th, 2018 in London in the United Kingdom for the world title. And I will start the countdown on Chess to Impress. In the history of the official undisputed World Championship there have been 44 matches and 2 tournaments to determine who would be world champion. And in the run-up, in the countdown towards the Carlsen-Caruana match, I will cover all these 46 events on Chess to Impress. It all started 132 years ago when Steinitz and Zukertort played the first official World Championship match. Steinitz won and then played Chigorin 3 years later and played, as you can see, 4 more World Championship matches. I will not read them out, but I will let you read through it while playing some music. And as mentioned, this first video is about the first official World Championship match between Wilhelm Steinitz and Johannes Zukertort. Here you can see a picture of both players, Zukertort on the left, Steinitz on the right. Chess historians agree that this was the first official match for the world title. Steinitz was born in the Czech Republic and later became a USA citizen, and Zukertort was born in Poland and later became a UK citizen. The match was held in the USA, partly in New York, partly in St. Louis, and partly in New Orleans. The winner would be the first to win 10 games. And at 9-9, draws did not count, the match would be declared drawn. Time control was 30 moves in 2 hours and then 15 moves in 1 hour. Everything went a bit slower in those days. Imagine winner would be first to win 10 games. If that would happen in the Carlsen-Caruana game, then it would be a very, very long match. But it only took Steinitz and Zukertort 20 games to decide the match. Steinitz won 10 wins to 5. If you look at the table, you can see that Zukertort had a great start. Yes, he lost the first game, but then won 4 in a row in New York. But after that, things went downhill for him and he was only to win 1 more game, game 13. Zukertort was struggling with his health and that affected his play in the latter part of the match. Let's look at the last game of the match that Steinitz won to become the first official world champion. It was the 29th of March 1886 and Wilhelm Steinitz was white, Johannes Zukertort was black, and Steinitz opened with the king's pawn, e5, knight c3, knight c6 and f4, the Steinitz gambit in the Vienna game. Steinitz had been eager to try out the idea in the match, but didn't want to use it until, and I quote, "The games had reached such a stage that my backers could not lose anything. There were a lot of bets on this match." And Steinitz was 9-5 up and decided it was time to try out the Steinitz gambit. Zukertort accepted the gambit, and now d4. Now that the e5 pawn has been lured away from the center, white can put a second pawn there. d5, getting influence in the center. Steinitz took, attacking the knight, and Zukertort gave a check. King e2. Can you imagine king e2 being played on the 6th move in the Carlsen-Caruana match? I cannot. Zukertort went back with a check, king stepped aside, and queen h4 check again. Steinitz could have gone back to e2, and then after queen e7 we have a repetition of move, and an exhausted Zukertort might have gone for this move repetition, but Steinitz wanted to decide the match and did not go back to e2. He played g3. It looks very dangerous for white. Zukertort took with check, and the king stepped aside to g2. Knight takes d4 from Zukertort. It looks horrible for white with his king in the open, but actually it's playable, believe it or not. The black king is also still in the center, and as we'll see, that will play a big role in this game. Steinitz took on g3, hitting the queen. Queen to g4, offering a queen trade, but Steinitz shows his intentions. He wants to win and does not simplify by swapping the queens. He gives a check on e1. The bishop interposes, and the bishop comes to d3, protecting the c2 pawn, protecting it. Knight takes c2 with a nice fork. And now white is threatening rook h4, skewering these two pieces. And please note that after rook h4 you cannot play the queen to a square where it will protect the knight, so then white will win a piece. And also you should note that this bishop is not really covering the h4 square because of the pin from the queen to the king. Here king f8 is the best move, unpinning the bishop with equality, so rook h4 can now just be taken by the bishop on e7. But Zukertort played knight f5, and that's a bad move. In many variations this bishop wants to go to the f5 square. Knight f3 developing from Steinitz, and bishop d7. Again, king f8 is the best move, but black is already in some trouble here. After bishop d7 he's in even more trouble. Bishop f4, Steinitz brings all his pieces into the game. You should note that you cannot castle here to get out of that pin and protect the c7 pawn, because there is knight e5. Not only hitting the queen, but winning the queen. The black queen has no squares. So after bishop f4, Zukertort played f6. And now knight e4, another strong move from Steinitz. And in 3 moves time, white has achieved an overwhelming position. All his pieces are playing and the white king is safe on g2. Zukertort is now desperately trying to develop his king's knight, but that is a blunder. It costs a piece. The only way to develop that piece is to h6, and that's what Zukertort did, but Steinitz took it, and after the recapture he took again on h6, winning a piece, because you cannot take the rook. Zukertort took it anyway. He must have been completely demoralized at this point. And I found a comment on the internet saying, what a sad end to the career of a truly great player. G takes h6 doesn't work because of, indeed, knight takes f6. For king, king and queen, and the bishop is still pinned, cannot take the knight. White wins black's queen. King f7, knight takes g4. And Zukertort resigned. I found another comment saying that Zukertort was exhausted in this game and visibly ill at the board, and that this game only took 30 minutes to play. You cannot even win that knight. After bishop takes g4 there is knight e5 check, and white will take on g4. So after knight takes g4, white is so much material up, black resigned, and Wilhelm Steinitz was the first official world champion. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you will count down with me to the Carlsen-Caruana match. 100 days to go. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel. Please leave a comment, I will read them all and I will reply. You also may want to check out my Chess to Progress channel, the link is in the description box. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.